Are you ready to dominate? Because it's time. From Philly to Vegas, Canada to Peru, and everywhere in between. It's time for the podcast that makes the offseason suck a hell of a lot less. From the creators of Dynasty Depot, the internet's only live auction site for Dynasty fantasy football teams. Here's your hosts, Nelson Verman and Rick Taylor.
Yo, and welcome to Dynasty Depot Live Season 1, Episode 4. We're going to title this Inside Dynasty Depot. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my co-host tonight, the preacher of patience, the guy who thinks a 14-hour conference call is okay, and the man who drinks Fireball just to hydrate, Ruthless Rick Taylor. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, what's up, Nels? How you doing, man?
It's always an exciting part, the 40 minutes it takes me to think of all of your nuances.
I look forward to it every week. And, I'm wondering, do you write down what episode it is? Because you pause each week. Could you say episode number? Is it in your head or is it written?
No, I have it written down in 4 places, and then I still have to look for it to remember what episode we're in.
All right.
I'm getting old, my friend.
I hear you.
Also with us tonight is the guru of graphics, the master of the night and day ring light, and the gorilla glue that holds this mess of a show together. Welcome our co-host, Phantasy Heather. Heather.
Hi, guys.
Gorilla glue.
Hey, Heather.
Gorilla glue. Yeah, that's a good one. That's good. I think, Rick, though, next week you and I should do Nelson's intro because I feel like it's not quite fair that he doesn't get what we get each week.
Well, Rick does have a lot of extra time on his hands, so I'm sure he'd be happy to sit there and write it for me, right? So tonight, special night, Dynasty Depot, inside Dynasty Depot night. We are going to get into everything. We are going to go back to basics on Dynasty Depot, how it was created, the bidding process, the selling process, the leaderboards. We're going to take questions from our Twitter people out there. So it's all going to be about us. It's a very selfish night for us, Heather, right? Dynasty Depot, right? Just about us. Do you like that?
Yeah, yes, I do I like that. So what was the who's the special guest tonight, Nelson? It was
we are really pleased, and this was pretty tough to get done today. Our special guest this week is absolutely nobody.
Yeah.
Right. You know why it's nobody? Because we have nobody but us. So we're just going to hang out. We're going to talk Dynasty Depot and nothing but Dynasty Depot. So I had a problem today. Okay, so wait. I had a problem. I log on to Dynasty Depot. I'm a fan. I'm a member. And I own the damn thing. And I'm going to put up a graphic. And
you ready?
Go ahead and put up the graphic. I had this problem today. Technical issues, account suspended. So I'm going to give each of you 3 words to think what I was thinking when this popped up at 8 o'clock this morning. Heather, give me 3 words.
Well, my children might watch this, so I'm not going to actually say what I think you said. But I don't think it was any of the laughy emoji expressions.
Heather,
I'm thinking
I didn't laugh one goddamn time when this came up this morning. Let me tell you that. Rick, I'll throw it to you, Rick, because you're not so much a family guy. You kind of let it roll out there, in your old age here, man. Well, give me a couple of words that popped through my head.
I'm not going there. I think that was about the time, though, I got a text, Rick, problems, ! And I just set my phone back down.
Let's put it this way.
That would count.
Listen, I'm going to equate it to this, okay? You take the field, and all of a sudden you tell the quarterback he's not playing today. Okay, you got to protect the quarterback. You don't suspend the goddamn quarterback ever. You suspend the right guard, nobody cares. You don't suspend a quarterback. Am I wrong?
That's right.
Not wrong.
I am wrong. Heather, let me ask you a question. This show is sponsored by who this week?
Oh, well, Nelson.
Yes, Heather. Yes,
We
Heather.
have episode 4 of Live-ish is brought to you by Dynasty Depot. Dynasty Depot is the world's first auction site for FFPC Dynasty teams. You can buy teams, bid on teams, and sell teams for high profits. And of course, every team purchased on Dynasty Depot hits our world-famous leaderboard, where we are giving away 4 FFPC main event seats where you can win $500,000. So we're giving away a promo code tonight, 75% off any membership level. So go to dynastydepot.com, enter the promo code LIVE, LIVE, and you'll get 75% off any membership level.
Thank you, Heather, very much. 75% off any membership level to get in on the action. Small price to pay. I think you get a rookie membership, not 75% off, costing you $12 a year. And we're going to talk about the value that $12 is going to get you as we get moving on with the show. Before I move on with the show, Heather, thank you for gracing us with your producerness and your kindness and your semi-knowledge. Now, you got to remember, Heather, Rick, came into this business with us with not a ton of football knowledge. Heather is a hockey girl, okay? Hockey girls don't know fantasy football. So when we brought her in, so I was talking to her on the side today, and I'm like, you know, what do you tell your family what the hell you do? I mean, how do you describe what you do? Because I talked to my wife tonight. I said, how do you tell your family? Because I'm going to ask Heather this tonight. And she goes, I say it, they still don't know what the hell. They watch your show and still don't know what the hell you do. So Heather, go ahead.
So real quick. So Rick, last week I got multiple inboxes, private messages, because I posted on Facebook some of the show, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I know. And I kind of don't even have an answer. I literally respond with, I know. Funny.
Right.
Right. So we kind of came through a little
right. We start talking about this today. So maybe Heather can snap her finger because she's mad. She's like that genie shit that was on that old show with the whatever. I forget what it's called. Bewitched or something. Some genie show shit. So she will snap her fingers and she's going to tell Rick and myself what Heather knows and what Heather doesn't know. Let's see it. Boom. There it is. First of all, okay. I got to go here. I got to see the live Heather doing the thumbs up with the team.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna try.
Okay. Let's see it. That's nice. See, and that's really close. So Heather knows. Here's what Heather knows.
Okay.
Heather knows dudes love fantasy football. Boom.
Right?
Yeah. Most wives hate fantasy football, right, Heather?
Only unless the husband wins, then they like it.
The winning husband is a good husband.
That's it.
Right. Dynasty, you own a team forever.
I know that.
It is. Now, the important shit, what Heather doesn't know. So each week, Rick, we're going to move the shit on the right over to the page on the left, right? And then we'll put more stuff for like Dynasty 101 for all the moms that are sitting there have nothing to do right now because they don't.
A lot of them watching, I'm sure.
Right. They're all watching the show right now. So how are players?
My viewers might be my friends.
Right. So how are players drafted? So go ahead, Rick. Tell her how players are drafted.
Well, when you join a dynasty league, the first year players are drafted. It's each person in the league gets a pick. Say there's 12 players in the league. 1 through 12, everybody picks a player. It wraps back around. The 12th guy gets the first pick in the second round, and it goes back down, serpentine, and it goes on until you have a full roster of, I think, 20 rounds or 18 rounds, something like that. And that's how you get your initial team for the Dynasty League.
Do you understand that, Heather?
Okay, I do.
Then we're moving on. We don't need to talk about that anymore. Okay, we are not a gambling site. How do you get paid? Well, that's pretty much important here. So I'll handle that one. So when you win a league, you're playing on the FFPC platform. Dynasty Depot does not run leagues. Okay, we are just the middleman that sells and buys the teams, but you play on FFPC. When a league is concluded after playoffs, which is week 16, prizes are awarded according to what place you come in. That's how you get paid, Heather. Do you understand that?
Okay, I do.
Rick,
Yes.
explain to Heather that FFPC and Dynasty Depot accounts must be linked.
Yeah. So if you buy a team on Dynasty Depot, it wouldn't do you any good if you didn't have a platform to play the league in. So you must be a member of FFPC. It's linked to your account on Dynasty Depot so that when you buy a team, you're buying it on FFPC, you become the owner there, and it's synchronized in real time. If that didn't happen, there would be no league behind the teams that we have.
Okay.
Are we good there, Heather?
Okay, I feel good there.
Okay.
Okay.
Where do you trade players? I'm going to ask you now, Heather, where do you trade players now that you have the knowledge of the above?
So now I feel as though we're trading players on the FFPC site.
That is the correct answer. We can now move on to the next one.
Okay.
We're also going to move that right over to the left, right above Happy Heather right there, right? Okay. Rick, tell her what a reserve is, please.
Reserve, key topic in an auction site. It's like eBay if you're used to that. It's the minimum price at which somebody has to bid in order for the team to be sold. So if you set a reserve of $10 and somebody bids $5, the reserve has not been met and the team will not get sold. As soon as it exceeds what you set as the reserve, then whoever wins the bid will get it. And the reserve is intended to be the minimum price that you would be comfortable selling a team for.
Do you understand that, Heather?
I do.
So all of your questions tonight were answered on Heather's board?
Yeah.
If they were answered, we would like the double thumbs up and the smile so we can move on with the show. There you go. We're going to move on now. Heather is happy. Happy Heather. Good. Moving on. So we're going to get into the basics of Dynasty Depot tonight. We're going to start from the beginning, why it was created, how it was created. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to move into the membership process, the sign-up process, the different memberships, the buying and selling of the teams. We're going to give you the inside scoop of when the teams are selling, when's a good time to post a team, what should your split be between the reserve and the buy it now. We now have data. Rick, say the word data because it turns me on, man. Say it. Say data.
Data.
Rick has data. Okay, and when Rick has data, he is a dangerous man. So we now have data where we can try to help you perform the best you can on Dynasty Depot and make the most money you can. So why was Dynasty Depot created? It's a standard answer for me every time. It was created to create action in the offseason. The reason we're sitting here doing this show right now, and actually people are listening to it and watching it, which is kind of cool, it's because we created something to do in the offseason, okay? It's something to talk about. You love Dynasty Depot. You hate Dynasty Depot. This guy's charging too much. This guy's reserve, will never hit his reserve. The fact that you're talking about us has created something to do in the offseason, okay? As we move forward through this offseason, and which we will talk about, we are going to be getting into maiden drafting season. That is going to be prime time on Dynasty Depot, and it's all going to culminate with our leaderboards giving away these fabulous prizes, which we're going to get in later. So I'm not going to waste a ton of time. We're going to start blasting through this thing. Rick, when we were designing this, right, let's talk about this. From the very beginning, there was tough decisions on site design, okay? What we were going to do, the rules we were going to employ, because we're changing rules daily, okay? We're listening to the people out there. You want a button where to buy it now thing come, okay, we put it on there. We'll do whatever you guys want to do until Rick says the data says we don't have the money to do that. We do everything about data. We're a very data-based company over here. Okay, we don't do anything by the seat of our pants on this company, man. We're by the book kind of people here. So, Rick, give me some of the tough design site decisions that we had to make that we beat ourselves up over.
Yeah, I mean, they all revolved around what the acceptance of the product would be. Is we knew it had the potential to be fun, but when in that first 2 weeks, people are logging on, wanting to buy teams and to see what it's all about, we had to make sure that how we set it up didn't, alienate people. They get on there. One of the biggest things was pricing. We didn't want to have a site where somebody who's not familiar with the format, they're just buying new teams for the first time, and they see, every team's $1,000, and they're turned away. So how we manage to motivate people to price properly, set reserves properly, buy it now is right, to have a range of prices so that it could accommodate the people that are not looking to spend a lot of money, but all the way up to the range where people could, they had a kick-ass team, they could make a lot of money on it. So we spent a lot of time going back and forth on that. One of the things was we had the concept of the listing price, which the idea was to motivate integrity of pricing, because you're not going to just trial and error prices if you're paying $5 every time you had to list a team.
Rick,
go ahead.
When we decided to be nice guys and waive that $5 fee, some people are fucking it up and pissing us off with this stuff right now, right, Rick? Okay, so some people are taking advantage a little bit of our kindness. Would you say that is correct right now? Yeah,
I would say it's not the overwhelming majority, but there are some cases where it's happening, and it also goes down with pulling teams down, putting them back up. The other reason for the $5 listing fee is you couldn't pull it down if you didn't like the pricing, put it back up. You could, but you'd be paying for it. But now that that's gone, we do see some people pulling teams off, putting them back up if they didn't get the price they like. So, we're learning, and the people are learning too. And frankly, I think we're all pretty much okay with anything. It's we don't want our customers to be alienated and to wonder why the hell I had a bid on this team and it got pulled down. What's going on? So, and
we're going to talk about that a little later in some of the changes that are upcoming. But like you said, we didn't want to alienate anybody, and overall everything is great. But we want to be perfect, and we want our customers to look at us and say, "This is just a perfect product." And we're going to continue to work, and we are dedicated that we are going to continue to work to get this thing right where everybody's happy. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I think the fundamental reasons we put it in place are we're being successful in those areas. You mentioned some of the motivation behind it. I don't know how many conversations we had last year about how to implement this and some of the reasons, but one of the things we finished a draft season and we'd look at our teams and, you have no exposure to a certain player, or all your teams would have a certain guy on, and you're kind of stuck with that. And how could you diversify and get a good mix of people? Well, you can now go on Dynasty Depot and look at a team that maybe has Justin Jefferson because you just weren't buying into him in the rookie drafts or in the maiden drafts. Well, now you have that flexibility to I guess broaden your portfolio, and I think that's a real cool thing that I don't know if people realize if they're thinking about that, but that's one of the things I like about it that we've accomplished.
It is. It's pretty cool. And everything you said is right. It gives you opportunity on both the buy and the sell side. The people like me, the idiots that walk away last year with 82 teams that want to still draft maidens this year. Well, it gave me an outlet to move my portfolio down a little bit and make some room for what's about to happen in the next 4 weeks with the maidens. So it's all stuff. So let's go through the process, man. Let's go, Heather. So here's what I want to do. I want you to talk about the sign up and the memberships. Okay. There's 3 different levels you can sign up for. Remember, as Heather's talking, 75% off the promo code LIVE. So you're paying nothing. Okay, it's $12, and we're going to talk about some of the value as soon as Heather's done when she runs through these memberships for us.
Right. So the memberships, a yearly membership, the price that you see on there, it's 75% off. It's basically being given away. right? Basically being given away. So the rookie membership is going to be sort of your basic membership. It's going to give you unlimited ability to bid, buy, and sell. You can upgrade to any other membership whenever you want. And it's going to give you the Roster Watch Dynasty rankings.
And we're going to talk about that
membership. And we'll talk about that.
Yep.
Then we go into the All Pro, which is a little bit, it's the next level. It's going to give you the same unlimited bid, buy, sell. It's going to give you the Roster Watch rankings. But, and I don't even know if you guys have touched on the hot box yet, you're going to get a hot box promoted team listing. So we'll touch on that. So that's going to be a free hot box listing. And you also get a pro membership to Roster Watch, which in itself is a $50 value. So, and then the text notifications. Then we go to the Hall of Fame, which is exactly as it is, the best of the best, the unlimiteds, Roster Watch rankings, the pro membership, the text messages, 5 hot box listings.
Boom.
That we'll talk about. And then if you're a new FFPC member, new to FFPC, you're going to get a $35 credit for FFPC. If you're an existing member, free t-shirt.
Beautiful. So just saying that. So how do they get that $35 credit? What happens is Phantasy Heather sends your name over to FFPC, and on your FFPC account will be a $35 credit. And we are working on the Dynasty Depot t-shirts for all of our Hall of Fame people. If you can't wait to get your Dynasty Depot gear, just go onto our site, click DD Apparel, and we got everything from baseball hats to beanies to baseball shirts to t-shirts, hoodies. It's all available on there. So, but you will be getting your t-shirts. You'll be getting a letter from us within the next week. We're actually going to take your size and try to send you the right shirt. We want you wearing your Dynasty Depot gear out there as we move on. Now, Rick, with these memberships, all of them, is included in the Roster Watch. And wait, hold on, Heather, with the Roster Watch rankings. So, me and you subscribe to everybody because that's what we do.
Right.
What do we pay for? Give me, don't use anybody's name. I'm not giving anybody free publicity out there because they're all pain in the ass anyway. So, but on the norm, what are we paying for ranking service?
I mean, dollar amount?
Sure.
I mean, anywhere from 30. I probably spend $150 a year on various memberships.
Right. Well, you're a man. You're the dean of data, so I know you need a little more than everybody else being the dean. Right. So, with our memberships, okay, 75 off. Take our rookie membership, $12.48. You're getting Dynasty Depot and all the action. You're getting Roster Watch's rankings. These rankings, fire away, young lady.
Coming up.
These rankings are broken down by Superflex and Standard, okay? These are done weekly by who we feel is the best in the business. Alan and Alex Dunlap and Byron and those guys at Roster Watch, every week, these things are updated. Position, whatever you need. This is a value, folks, okay? You're getting this for nothing. You're paying somebody else $30 a year. Shit, you don't have to pay us anything. We're giving this to you. These guys are sharp as hell, okay? Show me a blurb that they put up this week. Okay, and I love this. And you have access to this every week on Dynasty Depot. This is one player. There's more. I'm not showing it all to you. It is up. But look at this. So it breaks down Damien Harris, the case for Damien Harris, the case against Damien Harris, statistics, take a shot, don't take a shot. This is the kind of information that we're building value with our memberships. Is that right, Rick?
Absolutely. I think, I've been on this is probably next to the new teams listed. This is where I'm at the most, whether I'm looking at my trades that I have offered. I'm going to this thing all the time to use it. I think so. There's two things. There's the rankings. So I'm using it for somebody offers me a trade. I'm doing, value comparisons, but also when I'm looking to buy and sell teams, I'm thinking actually more buying the teams. Could I draft this team? Where do these players go? And I'll pull up their rankings and say, this guy's slotted into the first round, second round. All of a sudden the team has, 6 picks in the top 30 rankings, it's pretty damn good value, especially if I can get it below league cost. And then the blurbs here, you don't always agree with everything people say, but it gets you thinking. And that's the whole point of this. They're giving you the pros and cons and people rising and falling, and it gets you to have a different perspective on a player you may not have thought about. So, I put a lot of value in this. I enjoy reading it. And I think, I don't even know if our customers know that it's there. But
it's there, and it's part of the value you're getting with Dynasty Depot. This will continue on every week. As you're a member, you've also purchased a ranking service that actually writes some great content and knows what the hell they're talking about. Okay, it's great stuff. So,
and
go ahead.
I want to add one thing now. So,
go ahead.
And these guys, they go to the Senior Bowl, spend a lot of time. So soon they're going to be integrating the rookie rankings, and I think that's where you can get a leg up, especially with early maiden season, where they're going to start slotting players into the rankings. A lot of players entering these maiden drafts don't really, they like the guy in college, but they don't have a good feel for what their NFL potential is. These guys have scouted them, seen them in the Senior Bowl and such, so you can get an advantage over a lot of the people you're drafting against by going here and seeing where they're slotted in.
Yeah, this is great information. I mean, even if I read this thing 3 times with Damien Harris, and I'm sifting through Dynasty Depot instead of thinking he's, they got 2 running backs and he's the third and he's not really a third. It's made me think a little bit. The case for Damien Harris. You might be able to talk yourself into maybe you do have a third running back there. So listen, knowledge is power, right? The Dean of Data likes it. I like it. So it's a great thing. So our memberships. The most exciting thing to me, guys, in Dynasty Depot, and a lot of people don't understand this, some do, is our leaderboards. Okay? This is created by us. Nobody's ever done it. It's like a super contest within a contest, or what we like to call a game within a game, right? Who doesn't want to play a game within a game, especially when somebody's giving it to you for free, okay? So again, your value with your membership, okay? You got the rankings. Now you're entered into our leaderboard. And I'm going to explain this to you, and then Rick's going to talk about something really important. So as you see, this is broken down into, and let's put an example of this. Heather, say I just bought a team for $5. Heather, I just bought a team for $5.
I just bought a team for $5.
That's great, Heather. Well, your team hits the Dynasty Depot leaderboard. It has no more clout than Rick's team that he just bought for $1,500. Right, Rick?
That's correct.
If you purchase these teams in the standard league, you are vying for the same prizes. Each week, your points will transfer from FFPC to the Dynasty Depot leaderboard. Okay. I'm not sure if we're going to list probably top 25, I think we're going to do. You're going to probably have to get in there. We're still not sure yet, but your points are going to list there. At the end of week 13, these prizes will be awarded. It's a so-called best ball kind of thing. But you have to set your lineup, obviously, in standard. Now, we've already thought of that. Well, Superflex quarterbacks have different scoring. That's why, you know what? We'll give away another main event for the Superflex and the best balls and the Superflex best balls. So we're giving away 4 main event seats. Okay, so that's $8,000 from Rick and Heather's kids' college fund. Gone. Can't control it. It's gone. It's posted. It's live. So we're going to give that away. Come in second, $500 Dynasty team, paid for by Dynasty Depot. Third, $250. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 77s. 8th, 9th, and 10th, free Hall of Fame subscription to Dynasty Depot. But, Heather, remember that $5 team you bought?
Yes. Did I win?
You like that team, right? Right. So that thing wins a main event seat. She paid $5. She's now in the hunt for $500,000 in FFPC's main event. Okay, you're not paying anything for this. You bought the team on Dynasty Depot. You are entered in this contest. But, Rick Taylor.
Yes, sir.
But if you do what, you are not entered in this contest.
If you sell the team that you have bought, you are no longer eligible. So it's the last owner that owns the team. Clearly, you can't buy a team and sell it, and then have that team have 6 entries on the leaderboard for every person that bought it.
Okay, but I have to stop you there. It's not necessarily the last owner. If you give me your team and sell it to me, and it wasn't purchased on Dynasty Depot, we can't track that owner, it is ineligible.
Correct. Good clarification. Yes. So you've bought it on Dynasty Depot and you've carried it into the NFL season.
Correct. Okay, and that's it. Now listen, that team, and we've seen the same team go for 5-6 times on Dynasty Depot. The last guy that owns it when the season starts, and we're closing, for your information, we will be closing 1 week before the NFL season begins. 1 week before. So it'll probably, that Sunday night before the NFL season begins on the Thursday, the depot will be closed for business. That's when the teams are going to lock. Okay, and that's when the owners are going to lock for the leaderboards. So we know Tuesday, you're going to come to, there's not going to be anything to buy, but you're going to be coming to Dynasty Depot to check your leaderboard position. And we are so excited to give these prizes away. It's really an amazing thing, huh, Rick?
It is. It is good. It's funny. There was a team today that I was looking at buying, and it was pretty expensive, but it was really stacked. And I was definitely thinking, all right, what would I pay? Would I overpay? And I started subtracting, trying to rationalize with myself. If I win that, $1,900 main event, and then it turns into this and that. So yeah, it's definitely a piece of it. It adds another value factor. Yeah. I didn't justify it, by the way.
Listen, I'm an old man. I don't remember shit. But for some reason, I'm thinking Rick's thinking 750 number 31 kind of team on Dynasty Depot.
I don't remember. All I know is
750 number 31. That's the team.
I kept creeping up on the bid, and it got a little too much for me. But
yeah, it did. It's back, by the way. So that's our leaderboards. Okay, now we're going to move into the process. Okay, really important, the buying and selling processes. So buying, Rick, run us through simplicity. You're buying a team. Okay, what you need to do, what you don't want to hit by accident. Talk to me.
Yeah, so it's really simple. You have 2 options. You're either entering a bid, or if it's a team you just think the value's right, you want it, and you don't want to risk somebody pulling it out from under you and buying it in ahead of you, you buy it now, and you click that button. Once you click that button, you are in the process. So you can't, go back in your browser and undo it. So, and the other option is you enter a bid. You put a number in there, make sure it's right, click the place a bid, and your bid is entered. So let's walk through that scenario. You enter a bid in the add your bid, you hit place a bid, and if you've met the reserve, it'll show reserve met. And you know that now if you win that bid, your bid is high enough to actually purchase the team. The buy it now, like I said, if you just want to buy it for that price listed, you click that, you're in there, and you're taken through that workflow.
Let me add something to that for the people that don't know. So you hit buy it now, you will be taken to FFPC site, okay? Because you have to have an FFPC account to buy a team on Dynasty Depot, and you're signing up for FFPC when you sign up for Dynasty Depot. So they will take you to FFPC. If you have money in your FFPC, you cannot pay by credit card, check, PayPal, or all the other goofy shit out there, okay? You're going to go to FFPC. You're going to check out there. If you have no money there, you will deposit money into your FFPC account and then pay for that team. One thing that I didn't even write this on the show sheet. So you go there and you put the money in the account, but the team's not there. Okay, always go back to Dynasty Depot, go to my account, and right on the top, it's going to say pending purchase. Click on the team. It'll take you back to FFPC. So don't be scared you lost the team because you were doing something on FFPCs. Once you click buy it now, that team's yours. Okay, it's in your account. We just haven't transferred it over yet. Correct?
Yep.
Very good. So now we want to sell a team. Go ahead and run us through here, Rick.
All right. So selling, you're on the flip side of it. You have your options. You set a reserve price, which again is the minimum price you feel comfortable selling the team. So if it's a $500 team, you wouldn't set $10 unless it was a garbage team if you weren't comfortable selling it for that price. So you would set a price with the intent, if somebody bids that, it's gone. That team is gone. You don't want to set a reserve and then pull the listing down. That's not a good look for the business. So you set a reserve price, pick the duration of the auction, 3, 7, or 14 days. And that's the duration that people can bid on the team. So if nobody buys it now, bids will continue accumulating throughout that duration. And then you have the option to promote the listing. On our main site, we have what we call the hot box, where there's a scrolling group of teams where you go on. Right on the front page, you see the hot teams that are going scroll by. You don't have to go in and look and sort for teams. So this gets you the option to have it promoted and appear on that hot box. And then the last one is the buy it now price. Buy it now price, as we just talked about, is the price that, it's probably the high end of what somebody would pay for it. But if they really like the team, that would be the price. They can click the button, buy it, and it's theirs. So reserve is the low end. Buy it now is the high end. Anything in between is your comfort level of what you would get for the team.
So let's talk stuff here now. Let's talk about stuff that can help our listeners on Dynasty Depot. So one of the things before we talk about some of the reserves and stuff like that, and it is important. So what we've been amazed at is the most popular time teams are selling is 8 to 12 o'clock Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Is that right, Rick?
Yeah, the weekdays. I thought this was going to be more of a weekend thing, but it's definitely during the week. We see a lot of teams posting and a lot of buy it nows happening.
Heather, is that when most of our problems come in at 11, 12 o'clock during the week?
Yeah, right. Right when I'm sitting down to watch my show, I get my emails popping through. Yeah.
Right. How many glasses of wine? It's usually on your third glass of wine.
Stop interrupting my Outlander.
So midweek has been extremely popular. And I guess what's happening is people are busy on the weekends. There's a lot of posting of teams on weekends, but a lot of the action is during the week. So if you got something special you're sitting on, I'd post it up on Monday. I really would. I think Monday is the prime posting day to get the most action and bang for your buck. So let's talk about the reserves and the buy it now. Man, we've seen all the shit you could possibly see. We've seen the $1 reserve with the $3,000 buy it now. We've seen some stuff, okay? We talked the other night about optimization. Is that a word?
It's actually a really hard word to say, so you nailed it.
We've talked about optimization of what we have seen and what looks right. So what was the percentage we talked about? We like to see a reserve and a buy it now in the ballpark. We think that sells the most. The guy that's playing around and puts the high, we have now put the buy it nows on the home page. So the guy with the 250 team with the $12,000 buy it now, people are flipping right through there. They're not even clicking on those teams, right? And that was done on purpose. Does it still happen? Yeah. But what do you think would be the optimum reserve to – wait, this is a good equation. Optimum equation, Rick, reserve to buy it now percentage wise?
Yeah, it's tough to put a percentage for an like a normal team, not on the extremes, the worst or the best. It's probably like a 50% or a 60%. So if it's a great team or a above average team, you buy it and let's call it 250. You buy it now 500.
Yeah.
Reserve is 250. You want to at least get your money back. And then anything above 250, you're going to make some money.
That's a winner right there.
Yeah.
That's a winner. I mean, we see the people that have been extremely successful on the sites, and really, we've seen people try to be tricky with the dollar reserve, so everything hits reserve, and then we'll talk about what's happened a few times and the changes that are going to be made to Dynasty Depot in the very near future. But the people that price, I like a 25% difference because I want to make sure I get near my buy it now. Okay. But I want to make sure I'm up there on the reserve. And if it doesn't sell, it doesn't sell. But I'm realistic when I post shit up there. I know the minimum I'm going to take for it. I'm not shooting fish out in the dark. Okay. So I know what I want to get for it. And I'll try to set my reserve because that's a realistic number. Okay.
Do you ever shoot fish in the dark?
Dude, I don't shoot anything. Okay, I'm an animal dude. Like,
I'm gonna write this down. Hold on.
Bring the fish into the house and put them in the bathtub, dude. I don't kill nothing.
Shooting fish in the dark.
Fish in the dark. I think Alan might have some fun with that one.
There we go.
So, really, keeping the reserve like that, I mean, can you shoot a fish in the dark?
Did anyone shoot a fish?
We use a fishing rod or something like that.
Right.
We'll work on that shit. Yeah. All right. No more shooting fish in it. Some shit comes out of my mouth sometimes. I don't even know where it comes from. So we got to hope that people tighten that stuff up. There'll be more sales. Okay. Don't be a clown and post something up for $5,000. A $77 team. People are getting smart. The market has really corrected itself from the first 2 weeks. Wouldn't you agree? People
I agree.
know what's worth what now.
Yeah, I definitely think they've adjusted. There is a learning process on the buyer side too. Like, some of the early teams I posted, I didn't know what people would pay, and I overshot on some, undershot on the others. So, like, I'm cool with a bit of a learning curve, and you're pricing it wrong, but eventually we got to adapt, and the people have to price.
So without talking about 750 number 31, we'll move on to it. Let's talk about a great 500 team. So a really good 500 team, what we see has been successful. Okay. It's something up to the league winning fee. Being $2,500 plus the $300, it says $2,800. If you got a $500 for $2,800, and that guy thinks he's winning this year, that's a realistic price. We're seeing that on Dynasty Depot.
Yeah. A 500. What did you say it brings in? You win the league with the first place seed.
2,500 plus the 300.
Yeah, 28 or 2,900.
2,900.
Yeah, so if you have a loaded team, I would definitely pay that if it's pretty much a shoe. And I'll tell you, in like best ball formats, I'm a little more prone to pay more because you're less prone to the bad luck in the playoffs. So you have a stacked team, it's going to put up points, and it's a little more predictable.
I agree with you. I agree. So
Nelson, I have a viewer question we can address here live.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're asking here, what happens to the next year Dynasty payment if I already paid to FFPC if he sells a team?
Go ahead, Rick. What? Read it again, Heather.
Okay. So if he sells a team,
yes,
on Dynasty Depot, what happens to the next year payment I already paid to FFPC?
Okay, so I'm already assuming he's talking about a $77 team right here. Okay, so let's take that question. He sells his team for $100.
Right.
Okay. Remember, he's put in 77 this year to be able to post it. So he'll net $23 there, right? $23. But he will get his 77 future year back from FFPC. That money, so he'll get 77 and 23. Is that correct, Rick? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
Well, he'll get the minus fees.
Well, minus
So,
the fees, but we don't talk about fees at Dynasty Depot. We just hope that they pay them. So
right. So you get your payment back essentially.
Right. You'll get that. You do get that future year back, and I'm assuming you're talking the way you phrased the question about it. It's a 77, but if it's above a 77 and it's a 250 league where you have $100 deposit, because the higher leagues don't use future years, they call it a deposit. You get that back also. And the cool thing about Dynasty Depot and the intricacy, big words on the show, analytics, intricacy. The intricacy of that is that the second that guy buys the team, that money is in your FFPC account instantly. You don't wait for a check. I'm not mailing you nothing. The money's instantly in your account. It's all done real time. Okay. It's a good question. You get that money back.
Yeah. And it's, that's why I think you see some of the teams listed for low dollar values. Sometimes people just want to reload. So a $77 team you sell for $5, you're getting your $77 back. And
any profit you had.
Right.
So it's a way to get your deposit back. Or if you bought an orphan and it didn't work out on the flip, you want your deposit back.
Correct.
Excuse me.
Correct. It's great to get your deposit back. Okay, we're going to move on to some great lead-in, Heather. Some questions from Twitter today. So Twitterland has put some pretty good questions on it. It's going to lead us to what I'm really looking forward to talking about, which is what's next for Dynasty Depot. So some young man named Jeremy Miller, a.k.a. the Taco Corporation. Okay, if you play high-stakes fantasy, you know the Taco Corporation. The Taco Corporation means business, I think. So Jeremy Miller says, hello, everyone. I love the site and show. Will you be adding a way for me, a favorites button or something to save the teams I want to track and buy? So we're going to hold that thought from the Taco Corporation and talk about some things that you probably will be seeing on Dynasty Depot in the next 30 days. Go ahead, Rick.
Yeah, that is one that's at the top of our list. When you spend a little bit of time on the site and you look at teams, you're really not going to bid on them, but you want to follow them, you might bid on them. And right now there's no way to flag it, and you can go back and look at your favorites. So we think that customers would really like that, to be able to pick out their favorites instead of scrolling through 150 teams every day. They can go through their favorites, and then so that's on the list. Let's see what else is there.
I'll handle the last one. You could tell them about the flashing sign idea I had, the reserve.
Okay. So the other thing that you don't know is, as you're scrolling on the front page, if the reserve's been met on an auction. So we want to show it right up in the front when you're scrolling down. You see the team, you like the team, you can see right there, hey, reserve's been met. And we think that'll be a little easier for the people to filter and which auctions are already past the threshold of going off.
Right. You have that and you have your favorites. It's nice. Heather, so I was thinking about like a flashing light. Can you show us the flashing light? Go flash the light, Heather.
Oh, actually, I know what it is. I think when I turn this way, my hair reflects and makes it brighter. Did that work or no? No.
No, I think that fig tree is literally, yeah. Okay, here we go. Nice.
The light hasn't come on yet this show, Heather.
Right. No, you're good. Right. You've been the same color all show. It's good. So the one thing we're also looking to implement is, and you usually don't go on your own show and talk about your site, but we're just open ass people that kind of tell you exactly how it is. There's been a few instances of somebody posting the low reserve, the high buy it now. the very low reserve. And when it hits the reserve, it maybe doesn't get close enough to the buy it now, and that team has been pulled down in the middle of the auction. We are going to change our policy, and we are implementing as soon as possible, if I can ever get a phone call back, but it could be a while actually. But we are going to, once that team hits reserve, okay, the cancel the listing button is going to go away. So if you put a reserve and it's low and it hits it, I don't care if it's a $5,000 team. If you put a $50 reserve on there and it hits it, that team's gone. Okay, that's going to end relatively soon. Like Rick said, we're a young company. We're learning on the fly, but we want the integrity of this site, I think, is most important to all of us, all fun aside. And if you want to put a reserve on it, okay, you're going to have to live with that contract because you're not going to have the ability to pull that team down. Is that correct, Rick?
Yeah, once it hits reserve, that's, you almost entered into a contract at that point, and that's what we talked about earlier, making sure you set that at a point you feel comfortable selling it. So
we got a question from a Jesse Cutler 1 asks us, congratulations on your new baby, young man. Where do you see Dynasty Depot a year from now?
You want me to take that?
Sure, I'll chip in when you're done, buddy.
All right.
Yeah.
So our goal with year one was to have a tool that is reliable, have the business end of the tool, the money transfers and everything. We get that flushed out. We want people to have confidence that their money's safe, their teams are safe, and that we're reputable and the integrity of this site. So that was the goal number one for the first year, and have some core customers that give us feedback, and we're well on our way to accomplishing that. I think a lot of our concerns, we've proven that the site is good and it's working. So in year two, we're looking at a lot of different options, and none of this is final, but we're looking at having more league options, different. Maybe even in season. We've talked about that, some options of some of the leagues that are in season. I don't want to say too much, but we're looking at expanding our portfolio. I'll put it in general terms of teams. So you can have teams in different platforms, different leagues, different formats, and expand. Since once we solidify the product now, we'd like to expand, and that's where I see it going.
For me, the number one thing was proof of concept. We have proved that we are a really good brand. Okay, the brand Dynasty Depot is something that's good. Nobody else has it. I don't want to hear somebody's going to copy you. Nobody's going to spend the money we spent to do this and go through the pain in the ass tweaking this thing to do what we're doing. Okay, it's not happening. We are getting calls from other platforms. Can we join your platform? So is that a possibility in the future? Absolutely. There could be different options for our players on our platform in the future. So, a couple other things that we talked about. I know we just started. We want to try to have some kind of mega contest. Okay, we're not going to get into any details of it, but, I would like Dynasty Depot to give away $500,000 to somebody also. Okay, so we're looking at some kind of mega contest. The bigger we get, the more members we get, more people. We want to be, besides just an auction site, which we are, and our leaderboard, we want to be a factor in the industry, and that's going to happen. So I don't think you're ever going to see us sitting around and this is the product and this is what you're going to get next year. We'll only be better, and there's going to be more stuff involved in Dynasty Depot going forward. So you're getting on board now. That's why you're getting a charter member t-shirt, baby. Got a couple Dynasty questions, okay? For you, Rick. Alan Seselowski. You might have heard that name before. Yes. What is a better investment, buying a win-now team with older players or a team loaded with young players and draft picks?
I think there's a couple different answers.
You give one, I'll give one.
All right. So I prefer the younger plays with draft picks, but my philosophy's changed a little bit where older players that maybe can win this year and I can cash in. I still have that backdrop with now Dynasty Depot. I can probably put it up for sale in the off season if I feel like it's aging too much. Worst case, I'm getting my deposit back if I have to really unload it. Or I could trade some guys and get some younger picks and then sell it. So, I'm not as afraid of older players as I was in the standard format, before Dynasty Depot.
So I'm going to ask you a question because I've asked several customers this, and I'm not trying to pat us on the back or anything with this question, but me and you being animal drafters that we are, is Dynasty Depot possibly going to change the way you draft a maiden team with the option that you'll be able to try to do something and you still can get rid of it? You don't have to play it this year. Will it possibly change? Will you ever go into a draft drafting for Dynasty Depot knowing you're not going to keep that team this year and trying to sell for profit before a down is played? Day trading maiden teams. Is that something that you think might happen?
Absolutely. I think, it won't be my approach across the board, but there'll be definitely some ones I go in and, you maybe grab an extra first round pick and things are just working out and you're thinking, maybe this is a Dynasty Depot team. I think that's definitely approach.
The amazing thing, I had this talk last night with somebody, and the amazing thing is, didn't think it, but it's the way it is. If you won $2,500 and came in first place last year, and you have pick 1.12, which is the 12th pick in the first round, okay, and you won last year, you're the champ. Okay, I came in second to last year because I had a bunch of young players. They just got established later in the year, blah, blah, and I got a couple first-round draft picks. My team is worth double your team on Dynasty Depot. So
right.
I think what we've created is you can't lose because you can build either way, but now there's actually an outlet for you to monetize a team that you've drafted. So you're not going with the Keenan Allens and the Melvin Gordons. You're not even taking those guys, but you're trying to win now if you are taking them. But if you don't take them, you're going to have options to move that team on Dynasty Depot. And we all see what the Swift, Akers, Hilaire, and those teams and Jeffersons go for. Big money.
Yeah, I think if I look at it from just a Dynasty analytics side and not the Dynasty Depot side, I think the data is also skewed from this past draft where you had, five or six backs that just look like studs. They're going to be studs for a long time. You have the receivers from Lamb all the way back to Ayuk and Jefferson. So that's not going to be every year. You're going to have the Miles Sanders and David Montgomery 1-2 that are
right.
So if that was the year you loaded up on picks and young guys, well, now that team's not worth a whole lot. So I don't think you can use that across the board.
That team would have been worth a shit ton in May on Dynasty Depot before you ever saw
the
Yeah. So Clipboard Jesus asks, Clipboard Jesus.
Wish I had a graphic for that.
I have a clipboard.
Where's Jesus? Where's Jesus?
Back on that fig tree behind you somewhere. So clipboard Jesus asks, okay, thoughts on running back versus wide receiver. Okay, so you're drafting, you taking Zeke with 2 years left of productivity and trying to win now, or you drafting Jefferson with 8 years left? Also tried to compare somebody like Damien Harris as opposed to a Tyler Lockett. Are you always going young, or are you trying to get a mix with your teams in?
in the Jefferson case, I'm going Jefferson because not only does he have a longer career path ahead of him, he's probably scoring it more, or at least what Zeke will this year. So he has both things in the positive. As far as younger versus older, if I look at like a guy like Allen Robinson, who people may consider him older, I'd take him over. I don't know who, but I would value him over some of the rookies. So it's really a case by case basis.
Awesome, Heather. We got some questions rolling in by any chance?
Yeah, we do. Let's see. I think I'm gonna pop it up there. Michael Douglas asks, are you limited to FFPC in the future, or could you also offer RTS, My Fantasy League, etc.?
We are not limited to anybody, Mr. Douglas. We can feel free to roam the country, and I'm sure as our name continues to grow, 2022 could see some different platforms probably to give everybody, great selection. It's great for all of the platforms. Okay, it's a positive for everybody. The more, the merrier. Anybody else, Heather?
So can I add to that there?
Yeah, of course, Rick.
So I think we have great partners right now, and they've allowed us to come into the industry and partner with us. So I think those discussions will involve our partners and what we do. I think the option is out there, but like Nelson said, it benefits everybody. If you have somebody playing in one league, bringing them over and have them the ability to get exposure to another platform. So we got to do what's right in the best interest of Dynasty Depot, our partners. But that's definitely something we're talking about, and yeah, we'll see where it goes.
We'll see. What else you got for us, Heather?
We have a question about like a winning bid, but then the buyer not claiming the team.
Okay. So here, read the question. Can you read the question?
Okay. What about the problem of a buyer making a winning bid, but then not claiming a team? Will there be future provisions to lock buyers' bids in, or at least stop buyers from doing this on a recurring basis?
It's a great question, and it's a big problem. Here's our problem: is that no financial transactions are done on Dynasty Depot. We do not geolocate people. FFPC does. So we can't hold your credit card and hold you hostage on the claim a team. We are working on a couple of ideas to put a stop to that. But at the moment, but one other thing just to say, if you put a team out there and the first guy doesn't claim it, as long as it's over reserve, the system automatically goes to the next highest bid above reserve, where he will get a claim the team. Where the problems come in is the ones that hit reserve on the number. There's no lower bid to go to the next team.
Right.
We know it's a problem. We know we're aware of it. We're working on it. Yes, the answer is yes. We will figure something out for that. Anything else, Heather?
No, that's all for now.
Awesome. So, guys, hopefully this was good information for everybody out there in, as my friend JD says, fantasy land. We're going to wrap it up here. Heather, little promotion for Dynasty Depot, please.
Oh, yes. One final little mention here, dynastydepot.com. Enter the promo code LIVE, and it will get you 75% off any annual membership level.
Okay, and where can people – hold on. We're gonna call timeout here. I just got – I don't know where it came from, but I'm going to do it. From Kent Tolbert. I listed a team for sale. It doesn't sell or meet reserve. I want to relist it with a lower reserve. Can I do this? Yes, sir, Kent. So when we waived the $5 listing fee, you are free to roam the country. So as soon as it doesn't sell, you'll get a little email that says your team didn't sell. You can relist immediately as many times as you want. Adjust the reserve, because we know it's a try thing. We don't really know why some people click the buttons when they do, but the answer is absolutely. We encourage you to relist it. new people every day sign up for Dynasty Depot. So what didn't catch somebody's eye yesterday might catch somebody's eye tomorrow or down the road here. On teams like this, I'm also going to make a suggestion. Don't go 14 days. Okay? We're gamblers. We're fantasy people. We don't want to wait 14 days for our new toy. Okay? You want to put 3-day, 7-day auction so people can get their teams as fast as possible. More stuff coming in. Another question. Can you suspend a buyer from Dynasty Depot for some period of time? The answer is absolutely. We can suspend anybody at any time for illegal activities. We prefer to have the conversation with somebody and saying, hey, let's not do it this way. It's not good for anybody. But if it gets to the point they can be cut off in a second, we hope we never have to do that. Is that correct, Rick?
Yeah, it's a last resort, but there's nothing preventing us from doing that.
Right. We don't want to have to do that. Listen, this is a learning experience for all of us. Okay. We're learning on the fly. We're a little small business company that's getting kind of big real quick, and we're adjusting as fast as we can to this thing. There's no
5-6 weeks.
Right, 5-6 weeks. There's no way we could have possibly thought out every scenario that's going to happen. It's happening. The site's running good. 99% of the transactions are going through smooth. People are getting your money. Listen, how many small businesses you have? You never hear a money problem. Okay, the money's done. That's why it's done with the professionals at FFPC. Okay, so we're moving as fast as we can to make this thing perfect for everybody. I promise you, you have my words and Rick's word. This will be done right. We know your concerns. You don't have to tell us those concerns. We talked about them. Listen, if we weren't addressing them, we sure as hell wouldn't have read them live on air to everybody tonight. We know where we have to improve. We know where the hole is. We don't want to shoot fish in the dark anymore. We're going to do our – no, Rick, we're not. We're going to do our best to fix these things. You know, we have to get better, okay? We're not a finished product yet. We're going to get better every day, but it sure is one fun as hell product. Heather, where can they find us on social media?
All righty. All right. You'll follow us, please, on Twitter at The Dynasty Depot and YouTube, and also Instagram and Facebook, Dynasty Depot.
Awesome, Heather. So next week.
Yes. Next week.
So I don't know, man. I guess you get lucky. We have Hall of Famer, Sirius XM Radio. What's him and Fabiano, you know, the whole thing are gone. Mr. Bob Harris from Sirius XM Radio, Hall of Fame sports writer, broadcaster extraordinaire, is joining us live to talk Dynasty football with him next week. It's going to be really exciting for us. For Heather, for Rick, I'm Nelson Verbit. Buy low, sell high, my friends. We'll see you next week. Much love.
You've been listening to the Dynasty Depot podcast, the best source for what's hot in Dynasty Fantasy Football team action. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at the Dynasty Depot. And listeners get a 30-day free rookie membership. Go to dynastydepot.com and use promo code PODCAST. Dynasty Depot. Bid, buy, sell, dominate.